Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the weekend review edition. This is your temporary host, Dean, and I am here with my homies. Tosin, what's going on, buddy?
Hey,
Oh, I'm glad you didn't say another dollar because I was like, we're not getting paid for this shit yet, nigga, so whatever. Mitch, what's going on, man?
It's been a minute since I've been called up to the big leagues, so I'm happy to be here. Happy to get it rolling.
Glad to
Mitch
have
looks
you
like
here.
a Mitch looks like a baseball player
Yeah,
now.
he got the right hat on everything with the big leagues and the mustache and all that. We'd like to wish our dear friend Tosin a happy belated birthday. Happy birthday, bro. It was
Thank you.
nice to see you enjoying yourself on your birthday, but you do that every year, so it's not that impressive, like you know how to live, unlike some of us. Let's get to the football. We start with the women's AFCON final, and you're looking at a compatriot of champions. Number 10 for Nigeria. Tosin, you
Yeah.
get the honors.
So this is the second time Nigeria's woman has won the AFCON undefeated. They did 98. They did it again this year. So shout out to our women for winning their 10th. I watched that game, watched the highlights because obviously I was doing important things on my birthday. But I'm very impressed with the women. They were down 2-0, came back, won 3-2. And it's just a testament to show like this is actually a microcosm of Nigeria where we're not being supported by government. Morocco is kind of, they've done some really good things with their women's team. They've really, really revamped their women and their men's team through the academy they have, the King Mohammed Academy, which has produced a lot of really good talent. But in despite of all of that, Nigeria still said, you know what? We're gonna give you 2 goals and we still gonna whoop your ass at home. So shout out to our women winning their 10th, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that game didn't start very well. Going down 2-0 to the host country. That's usually a game over type situation. But we came back. Mitch, you watched a little bit of it. Any thoughts from the game?
Yeah, it was a serious fight from Nigeria to come back, and credit to them for not letting Vilda win another title. That man, as long as we prevent him from winning things, the better we are.
That I actually didn't realize that until I saw a picture of him and Infantino, and I was like, ugh, like not this guy
Just
again.
evil in a picture.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that he snuck off to Morocco, and that's probably a better job than the Spain job, given the amount of investment Morocco is putting into their sports teams in general. So he filled up like many of your people tend to do, Mitch. Man, I wish I was black. Ha! You thought I was gonna say something else, didn't you? But yeah, shout out Esther Okoronkwo. I did not know her before this tournament because I don't follow Nigerian women's football. I know the big names, but not Esther Okoronkwo. And she's probably not the best player of the tournament, but she was fantastic in this final because she pulled a goal back from the penalty spot in the 64th minute. Then she had the assist for the equalizer, and also the assist for Jennifer Echekini's winner with 2 minutes of the game remaining. So that was just a great performance from her, just inspiring excellence. Because honestly, when I tuned in, it was 0-2. Then I tuned right out because I was like, yeah, this is not going to be good, but it all worked out for the best. At 2-1, I thought about coming back into it. Then I thought to myself, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. They did it without you. Just stay out of it. Stay out of women's business, as they say.
As Offset said.
And in other good news, I'm sure Tosin will appreciate this. Ghana beat South Africa on penalties to finish third in the competition. So that's good. I mean, we don't like either country, but the one we hate least won. So I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue into the next game, the England game, because you know what England did that most people should always do? They didn't have a Ghanaian take a penalty in the final. So shout out to England for doing that.
And thank you, Tosin, because yes, we're talking next about the Women's Euros final. I didn't get to watch as much of this as I wanted, but from what I could tell, it was essentially a game of two headers. One in the first half, one in the second half, both from Arsenal players representing their countries. Mariona Caldente for Spain, Alessia Russo for England. And the game kind of played out the way I imagine most of us thought it would. Spain had a lot of the ball, probably created better chances, didn't score. England held on, won on penalties. Mitch, you probably watched the whole thing. What did you make of England's performance? Were they deserving winners?
I think England played this game the way that they played the whole tournament, which is like keeping it close and bringing it home. But I think the thing that stood out to me was Lauren James started this game despite not being completely healthy, and I think she really held England back in the first 40 minutes. I think England had a really, really hard time finding any verticality. I think Spain did a really good job with their press of keeping England in their own half, but they weren't really able to stretch anyone because it was only Russo moving forward. Once they brought Chloe Kelly on in the 40th minute, she was really able to move England forward, and they were actually able to create quality chances. Like, as soon as she came on, England had 2 chances. And it was more than they had before, other than just from a Leah Williamson long ball to Russo. You brought up the goal scorers. Obviously, Mariana and Russo are like the 2 players from each of these teams that are like, oh, you guys won the Champions League, and if you win this, you could win the Ballon d'Or, because that's the dumb thing that we've decided decides the best player is if you're on the best teams. But it's cool that it's an Arsenal player, and they both showed up in this game and they both scored these goals. But if I'm going to be honest and be a homer about it, I think there maybe should be 4 Arsenal players in this conversation of Mariana, Russo. Leah Williamson played 300 minutes of insane soccer in 2 finals. And obviously it goes without saying, Chloe Kelly closed this out with a great penalty. She's playing great all tournament, super sub for England. Even when someone's a super sub, it's easy to say maybe they should have started. She kind of kicked ass in the role she had. She was wonderful. Honestly, I think people are going to shit on England winning it like this, but it's how you win a tournament. You got to play dirty sometimes, and you got to just kind of like grit your way through it. Spain's a better soccer team, and England won it because they respected that Spain is a better soccer team than them, and they won their way.
Yeah, I got a fun fact for both of you. Do you know how many minutes England have won in this tournament if you calculate all together?
I don't know, like 10 maybe?
Less than 5 minutes.
That's insane.
Jesus.
That is insane. Like, Didier Deschamps probably is going to like tape this and just keep it for his personal collection.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into his kinks, but I know he enjoyed this England tournament for sure. Go on, Tosin.
Him and Diego Simeone love that. That is
Exactly.
music to their ears. That is real nasty, sweaty football, and they love it.
Yeah, that's
also winning on 2 like disgusting penalty shootouts. Like the penalty shootout against Sweden was awesome because it sucked so much, and then this one also was bad. But England somehow got it done. I mean, credit to their goalkeeper. Why am I blanking on
Hannah Hampton?
Yes, Hannah Hampton had a great tournament, especially considering who was going to be their starter retired right before the tournament. She got thrown into the starter role, played in 2 penalty shootouts.
Hold on, Mitch. She retired because she wasn't going to be the starter. She didn't want to be a backup. Yeah, she didn't want to be a backup. That's why she retired.
Then why did we make this big deal out of it?
Yeah,
maybe we shouldn't have made a big deal out of it.
That's why we stay out. That's why we stay out in women's business.
Hey, cheers to that.
Indeed. Tosin, I feel like every penalty shootout I've watched across several competitions this summer has been terrible. Am I just imagining that, or have people forgotten how to take penalties? Because I'm looking at these women goalkeepers and these big ass nets, and people are still kicking the ball wide, and great saves being made. Shout out Katakol as well. She made like 3 good saves in this shootout, but she was still on the losing side. Even the preseason games, like Arsenal and who did Arsenal play in their first preseason?
Milan.
Yeah, that penalty shootout sucked. It was like 4 saves for the Milan keeper, 3 saves for Kepa. What's going on with penalties, Tosin?
Everyone's tired, bro. And I think we've now gotten to XG where nobody wants to score a goal on penalties. They really want to score a real goal. But I guess, man, that's gonna be the lie I'm gonna tell myself. But I was thoroughly entertained by the Sweden-England penalties, like Mitch said, because it was so bad that I was having a great time. I was like, this is
so bad.
And here's the thing. In both the games, right, they had a chance to win. So in the Sweden game, Sweden had to make their penalty. The goalkeeper decided, you know what? I'm so high on my confidence right now. I'm taking the penalty. I'm like, why? Like, why? She sent it to Stockholm.
You're not a listener.
Yeah, like, why are you doing this? And then Spain today, they got a lifeline, right? England made the first penalty, but they slipped. So they had to retake it. Then the penalty was saved. And then Spain was just like, hey, what if we decide to just like miss our penalties with our best players? How about that? And that's what they did. So I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer, but my answer is that they don't like XG. So there you go.
My answer is that there's too much woke nonsense in penalties nowadays. People are trying all these. I think I love Jorginho to death, but he's the Oppenheimer of penalties. He's created these dog shit fucking run ups that people are emulating because he was good at it in Euro 2020, and everyone needs to fucking stop with this woke nonsense. Also, in the France Germany penalty shootout, which was a fucking great shootout, by the way, for like the opposite reason that the England Sweden one was. France lost that because they didn't have the unity going across the shoulders with everyone, so that's why they lost. And then also I saw one of the worst run-ups I've ever seen in my life, where she went like fully like trip around the box to shoot it and just like fully showed where she was going the entire run-up. It was horrible. We need to get back to just classic, or just emulate Chloe Kelly and do a little hop, skip, and a jump and shoot.
Mitch, I'm really about to say you have two options. There's two dogs in you, either Alan Shearer or Chloe Kelly. There's only two options in this league. Pick a spot, smash it, and be confident. That's it. Don't do all this rubbish. Just pick a spot and be confident. Shout out to Chloe Kelly, though. She's got, I know we're not supposed to talk about women like this, but she's got cojones. Shout out to her. When I see her step up, I'm like, yo, you know what? I know they're going to win. Because she's confident. So shout out to Chloe Kelly. The only one who smashes a penalty every single time, by the way.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of talking, and I've come to the conclusion that, you know what? I like our current state of affairs. It's way more entertaining when you're missing and the keepers are saving them. When people are just converting, that's boring, man. Like I need all of you to come across as the cowards and wimps you are, so I love that.
I mean, there is an actual answer, which is goalkeepers have a lot more information now and like have a lot, are like better at reading hips for penalties and better at knowing where people are going to go. Like we have so much data nowadays where it's like, we know that this player A goes to the right 70% of the time. So it's easy to be like, are their hips leaning right? I'm going right. So I think that helps as well.
I don't know. As someone who, no one can actually verify this because nothing was recorded, but I never missed a penalty in my life. So I would never, ever respect motherfuckers missing penalties. It's the only thing easier in sports is like a free throw. That's it. And even with that, you have the excuse of like, oh, you've been doing other things for the last, 10 minutes. So maybe you need one to get your form back in order. Then you make the second one. But penalties, man, the net is big as fuck, man. Like you should gain so much confidence from seeing it, especially women's penalties. Because how big can a women goalkeeper really be? Like Mitch is bigger than every goalkeeper that was at the women's Euros. Bye. So I'm sorry, like y'all, just put it in a corner. Just roll it. Just roll it slowly, and it'll go. I promise, But
I truly can't get over Deen saying I've never missed a penalty in my life.
Ever.
The fact that no one can review,
no one can prove it.
Something we truly cannot fact check.
Which is why I am right. Okay, in the post-truth era, I am completely correct about this thing I made up.
I've also never missed a penalty in my life because I played goalkeeper. I've done one penalty ever in like rec soccer in college, and I made it.
There you go. I know that's not true because you said you've done a penalty. Who says that? What's wrong with you, Mitch?
And Dean's left-footed too, so we can't get left-footed.
Exactly. I'm left-footed. We don't miss. Messi's left-footed. I'm left-footed. Every Arsenal player is left-footed. There you go. All right. Enough of the women's business. Let's get back to our business. There were some preseason results, some notables. We don't necessarily talk about those. We do have an Arsenal pod where we discussed Arsenal and Newcastle playing a game. And last week we talked about Arsenal and AC Milan playing a game as well because Arsenal fans are so desperate to talk about their team.
And
however,
we're sick in the head.
On this podcast, we're going to talk about Manchester United beating West Ham 2-1 at the MetLife here in the States because Tosin spent a chunk of his birthday there. What happened, bro?
So I went to the first game. So here's the thing: that you buy one ticket and you get 2 games for free. So I got to see Everton versus Bournemouth. Yeah. Philip Billing is great. He was having fun around, just running around like he was Pac. So that was great. But I spent most of that game talking to an Everton guy from actual Everton. Like he's actually from Liverpool. So me and him spent a good time talking. And long story short, he told me that Everton fans, all they care about is if you run around and if you start flying some tackles, we love you. So if you're looking to sign for Everton this summer, just run around and flying some tackles and they'll fall in love with you. So that's what I got from him. So that was that. The United game, well, for the first 60 minutes, I had a decent time. Bruno Fernandes pissed me off, but somehow he scored 2 goals. It's typical Bruno Fernandes performance. Lenny Euro's been in the gym, for sure. He's not a twig anymore. I was like, oh, this kid, they put him on something. He looks a lot bigger, so shout out to Lenny Euro. Alphonse Areola looks like a Rocket Power character with his long hair. He looks terrible with that blonde hair. He looks like he surfs. Really, it's not a good look for him, but whatever. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has a point to prove against Man United every single time he plays. I didn't ever expect him to know how to do step overs and nutmegs and all that. He was doing it all yesterday. He put out all the tricks. I was like, I don't know if this is Faliupa or if this is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but he was dancing like a Congolese man. I was very proud of him. So shout out to him. But overall, Cunha looked decent. Dorgo is rapid. He is absolutely rapid. I was like, whoa, he's really, really fast. Ugarte looked decent. Kobe Mainu looks like Kobe Mainu again. He looked like he lost weight and stopped eating Ghanaian food. So shout out to him. Rasmus Højlund, he's so bad at football. And I'm not even trying to disparage him, but he was making runs and nobody was finding him. They'd much rather go backwards than find him. I was like, damn, man, like your confidence is shot. But
you know,
then,
Tosin, sorry to cut you there, but there was a moment early in the game where he hit the post.
yeah,
And he also looks bigger, and he looks, I wouldn't say faster because he's always been quick, but he looked really serious. Then once he hit the post, it's like his teammates were like, okay, we're done with you. Yeah, and that was pretty early in the game. I didn't watch the rest of it, but back
that's
to you.
it. That's it. Then when they switched the game, they switched the players, obviously. Luke Shaw, the sooner he leaves Manchester United, the better. That's the nicest thing I can say. Harry Maguire is a weird cult hero where they boo him, but they love him at the same time. And he knows it. Like, they were shouting his name because I got really nice seats. And then he, like, would clap the fans every time they jeer him. So it was fun. Shout out to Harry Maguire. His head is massive in real life, too. A big-ass head. A lot of gravitational pull with the head. Hey, no. Nope. We're in the post-truth era now. Everything's on pause. We're saying whatever we want.
And on this podcast, you're not.
The last thing I have to bring up, Diego Leon. I got two more things. Diego Leon looks like he never left Paraguay a day in his life. He knows no English, like no English, and he's just a straight up just like, I just want to fight, and I love that. I absolutely love that. But the last thing I got to say is Mason Mount. That is one of the worst transfers in football history, and that pelvic injury, I think, messed up his gait, and it opened up him to get more injuries. I really think that really, really hurt him, and like his career. I don't think he can play at this level anymore. I think he has to figure out like where else he wants to go. There was a fan behind me, a Spanish guy, and I'm gonna repeat what he said in Spanish. He goes, "Hijo de puta," and he said "pendejo." I was like, I don't know Spanish, but I know what those two means, and that's not good. So this was like around like the 70th minute, and Mason Mount lost the ball. I think around the 70th, I can't remember, but he looked at his son and said, He goes, I'm gonna beat traffic. Mason Mount can't beat his man. Picked his son up, and they left the stadium. So there you go.
Cold-blooded.
So the biggest highlight in the second half was the whole stadium at MetLife, right? This is not a packed stadium. Like, there was still seats. So it was like maybe 50-some thousand people. The whole entire stadium for 5 minutes, everybody in unison did the wave. I swear to God, I wish I got video of it. My phone died, but everybody literally did the wave for 5 minutes. Like, there was a 4-year-old kid next to me said, "Let's do it." And I'm like, oh my God, is everyone this bored that we're sitting here for 5 minutes doing the wave? So the point of being, Man United's got a lot of work to do. That's really my biggest takeaway. So
I think my favorite takeaway from that was hearing that Harry Maguire is like the only soccer player in the world that enjoys being razzed by his own fans.
oh, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. He's going nowhere. He's like, I'm gonna die here until my contract is over, and then I'm gonna re-up maybe. So
That rules. That fucking rules.
That
But
is
cool
that is my captain.
yeah. But it's really cool to see these players in person, like see them come here to America. I mean, they're here for preseason. There's nothing really to take away that's like that serious, but they're having a good time. They were, I'm sure they went out last night because they were in New York on the Upper East Side. And I know they were outside misbehaving. So hope you guys know you're going to be running tomorrow. That's all. That's all.
Oh man, that was a good summation. Thanks, Tosin. That was fun.
Cool.
So that was 2 Man United, 1 West Ham. Any thoughts on West Ham? Like, I mean, I really made both errors for the goals. I know Bruno got both goals, but they were basically from his errors.
Yeah.
Did they do anything else in the game that made you think they might have a chance this season, or was it just the same old, same old?
Same old, same old. Jared Bowen's still Jared Bowen. He's going to World Cup for sure. He's a special player. He's good. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, like I said, stood out to me. I didn't really see too much of Diouf. He's the one that kind of ran into Areola for the penalty. So that was that. But I mean, there's really nothing to take away from West Ham. They're going to still be in the Premier League, but, they'll be fighting. But I did get a birthday gift yesterday, though. I got this for free.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
You also modeled it from what we hear or what we saw.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, he says. Allegedly. All right.
Yeah.
Last question on this one. Did Lucas Paquetá get minutes?
Barely, but he was there.
All right. I kind of feel bad for him now that he's been exonerated from the whole gambling thing, because it was like he was just about to make it to City, Then that came up. Transfer goes into shit. His form goes to shit for like 2 seasons, and now he's stuck at West Ham. But hey, at least he can still play, so that's good. Let's move on. Mitch, Arsenal beat Newcastle 3-2 in their second game in Singapore. We already have a pod out on that. Mitch wasn't on it, but do you have any brief takeaways from what you saw this morning?
I would like to formally apologize to my good friend Deen for being wrong about Max Dowman.
Thank you.
The kid's ready, even though he has braces.
Hey, man, Lamine Yamal has braces, and he been ready, so...
That's
Hey,
fair.
Mitch, do you want to hear something crazy?
I would, yes.
What were you doing in 2010 and 2009?
It was in 5th grade.
Oh, that's crazy because Max Dowman was born that year.
That's insane. But
At least, like, I'm young enough where I can, like, rationalize, like, yeah, I was a child still, so it's like, it's fine.
You are a child, Mitch.
Yeah. Yeah, the kid is incredible. He just has a very, first off, he's bigger than most of the men he's playing against, or at least as big as them. Then second, he just has a very, the second I saw a clip of him, I think the first time I saw him, he was 13. And, people who follow the Arsenal youth teams at Hill End will post video every so often. And I just saw a couple clips of him, and I was like, that's Kaká. That is basically Kaká reincarnated, So he's only gotten better since then. He has an aura about him. Like, you can tell that his opponents immediately fear and respect him, which is insane because he's 15 years old.
Yes.
Like, I was hoping we wouldn't have to talk about him at all, but good Lord, like, it's hard not to when you're that good.
I got 2 things to talk about Max Dowman. There's a guy who I follow who's a scout, and he was the one who first talked about Miles. That's when I knew Miles was going to be good. He's like, yo, there's a tornado coming, there's Miles. And he said, but here's the crazy thing. There's another kid right behind him who's even better than Miles. And I was like, what? And he said it was Max Dowman. This may be like 3 years ago. And he's like, are you really a scout? He said, I'm telling you right now, that's probably going to be like England's version of Yamal. Like, he's been talking about him for years. So we told everybody this, like I told you. He was like, I saw him at 13. He's like, the kid was he's literally just right there and on the thing. Max Dowman is so young that he can't play Champions League football until he turns 16 in December, by the way. That's how young he is. He literally cannot play in the Champions League. That's how young he is.
Good for Europe then, because we about to win that shit regardless. Shoosh, last one of these notable friendlies, because it's preseason and we really shouldn't be talking about any of this if we're being honest. But Vissel Kobe hosted Barcelona in Tokyo, I believe, or I don't know if it's in Tokyo, but it happened in Japan. Well, first things first, Barcelona were supposed to go on a preseason tour of Japan. Then the day they were supposed to travel, the tour got canceled. Don't quite know why. Then an ex-sponsor, Rakuten, the e-commerce website, they used to be their sponsor until Dembele racially abused some Japanese people while Barcelona were on tour there the last time. They lost the sponsorship because of that. The same guy that made the decision to cancel the sponsorship then goes, you know what? Let me save this tour from them and become partners with them again. So now Barcelona are back in Japan. But the only reason why I'm mentioning this 3-1 victory for Barcelona is because Marcus Rashford got his first minutes. You're the United guy, Tosin. Any I wouldn't call them final thoughts because we're going to watch him throughout the season if they can register him. But what are your general thoughts on Marcus finally making it to his other dream club? Because obviously United was the dream, but the dream went sour. Now he's at Barcelona, which is where he wanted to go before he spent that time at Aston Villa. But now he's there. What do you expect to happen?
Marcus is finally in a place where he's happy. I haven't not seen all 32 of Marcus Rashford's teeth since he made his debut. I haven't seen him not smiling. So I'm happy that he's in the place that he's happy. Just know he has to work. Hansi Flick is a German man, so he has to work. Point blank, period. But he looks happier. He looks fresher. He's the one that got the assist, the pre-assist to Lewandowski. He found Rooney Baji, the Swedish kid, and he scored. So Marcus looks spry. He looks happy. And Marcus is now friends with Jules Koundé. So if I start seeing Marcus Rashford in Saint Laurent boots, just know that it's all Jules Koundé's fault.
Hey, man, I'd rather see him in Saint Laurent boots than in a club in Dublin or some shit, So there's that.
Listen, there's a lot of white women in Barcelona, so Marcus will have a great time.
Only white women, if you ask me. Let's do some transfers and assorted news. Mitch, why did you send the Indian FA fake job applications for Xavi and Pep? Like, why did you do that? Explain yourself.
How do I yes and this? I just want Pep to be gone from the Premier League. That's why. And I think he has a really good opportunity with India. I think there's more people in the world, so that, like, I think the thing that stopped Pep from coaching a national team is that like he wouldn't have enough players at his disposal like he does with a club team where he can buy 15 players every year. So by coaching a team like India where you have a lot of players at your disposal, he'll be able to like really be able to figure out what his best 11 is. Javi's just doesn't have a job, so I figured he would enjoy it.
I got two things, Dean. I got two things. One, Mitch has the same mustache as Pep Guardiola.
He does.
Two,
That's why I suspected him.
yeah. Two, you know why this is even funnier? You know what movie I just saw, Lily, right before we recorded? I just saw Mississippi Masala. Swear to God.
Mitch don't know what that is, but that's okay. You know, you're gonna learn someday.
Yeah.
All right. Luis Diaz to Bayern for about 75 million euros. Mitch, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
For Liverpool, good thing. For Bayern, I don't know. For Arsenal, bad thing. Because that might allow Liverpool to buy Isak. I don't like that at all. I don't understand why Bayern keeps buying older wingers from Liverpool. I don't know why their transfer strategy has kind of shifted to that. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. They seem like a team that should be just like, there's surely some guy from Borussia Mönchengladbach who's like doing the same thing Luis Diaz is and is 5 years younger, right? That you can just say like, hey, we're Bayern, and you'll buy him for like 20 million. Like, surely that exists, and you don't have to spend 70 million euros on Luis Diaz.
But Luis Diaz is good, and his dad is a weirdo. And none of those kids have Luis Diaz's dad. So I get it. Tosin, Emerson Royal is back in Brazil with Flamengo. He left Milan after 1 year. Are you going to miss him?
I don't think anybody misses him, Mr. Moria, except for the wingers who run at him. That's the only thing that's going to miss him. But I will say this. It's a life story for anybody, okay? If you're struggling right now in your life, if you're going through anything and you feel like you're down in the dumps, right? Look yourself in the mirror and realize somebody wanted Emerson Royal, and somebody's out there for you.
2 teams wanted Emerson Royal. They fought over him.
You feel me? So if 2 teams want Emerson Royal, what does that mean for you in your life? It means somebody's out there for you. You just got to put your head down and get beat by a winger, and you're going to be fine.
I just want to like point out Emerson Royal's career path for a second, because I think it's just very, very funny. Of just like Barcelona to Real Betis, gets bought back to Barcelona to get sold to Tottenham, then goes to AC Milan for a year, was gonna go to Besiktas, gets a transfer hijacked by Flamengo, is now going to Flamengo. Here's my prediction for the rest of his career. I think he's going to spend like 8 years in Flamengo. He's going to become a club legend, and then he's going to like spend like 1 year at age 40 with like Chicago Fire for some reason.
Man, Chicago Fire taking a lot of shots today. What the fuck, man? Get off my team, man. The fuck?
I think he's going to go to fucking, what's it called? Lagos United or something like that.
Nah, we're not wasting money on that. We building an F1 track in Lagos. We didn't got time for that shit. All right. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic leaving Torino for Napoli for 18 million euros. Don't know why. I feel like he's better than their starter, so maybe he's the new starter. I'm not sure. Saul also joining Flamengo from Atletico Madrid for free. And there are rumors that Gabriel Jesus might be following the same path back to Brazil. Mitch, do you think Andrea Berta can actually pull this off, selling an injured player for actual money?
I saw that something that was like maybe like a loan with an obligation to buy, and it's like, it's basically, we're just doing a 6-month loan for Gabriel Jesus that we would have done in January now. And if he does that, very impressive, because selling a player who's in the middle of ACL recovery is kind of unheard of. Like, I haven't really heard of many transfers that are like in the middle of a major injury like this, especially a player like Jesus, where it's like, you don't really know what kind of player you're going to get after this. But I mean, when he's like going back home, like it should be a little bit easier to like acclimate to the Brazilian league than it maybe would if he got sold to a team in Europe and was trying to recover from the ACL. Or maybe he'll get a cleat in the back of his leg first game back, and he'll be back on the injury table. Who knows?
Well, God forbid that. Tosin, I hear Brighton is also interested in this player. What would you do if you had the choice between Brighton or going back to Flamengo?
Go home. There's beaches in Brazil. I mean, Brighton's got a beach, but
it's only rocks. It's only rocks. I've been on that beach. It's only rocks.
What did Charles Barkley say about the woman in San Antonio? It's probably the same thing about Brighton. Just go home.
Oh man, we could really talk a lot about Brighton right now, but you know what? This is 2025. Let's move on.
It is not Pride Month.
Lucas Perry moved from Lyon to Leeds. Rodrigo De Paul, Tosin, from Atleti to Inter Miami. Isn't it a bit early for that?
Not really. Messi needs 2 bodyguards because he's getting suspended by the MLS. So
Also, I don't know how Miami is doing this with the fucking roster rules. They just get away. Like, everyone, like, the fact that Messi got suspended for missing the All-Star game was honestly a relief, because it was like, okay, you guys are letting this motherfucker get away with everything. This is insane, because it's like he's getting paid less for like 6 months while he's on loan, and then he'll be a DP once he's like a permanent transfer, which probably means Busquets retiring. Or he's being brought down to a TAM level if he wants to continue playing. But the wizardry that Miami is pulling off with their roster, while also being incompetent with their roster, is crazy. Because they like traded an international spot and then also were forced to trade one of their international players because they did that. Because they traded the spot. MLS roster rules make no sense. Inter Miami makes no sense.
And
you know what this
this
sounds
segment
like?
made no fucking sense. I did not understand anything you said. But
You know,
pause
this-
on DP. Tosin, what you got?
It sounds like Clear Lake to me.
Sounds like what now?
Clear Lake to me.
Ah, I see
Yeah.
what you did there.
Yeah.
The clearinghouse. All right. Paul Victor moving from Barcelona to Braga for about 12 million euros. He scored 2 goals for the club, one of the La Masia boys. Ruben Kluivert, Tosin, I know this will make you happy, moving from Casa Pia to Lyon for about 5 million euros. He is yet another Kluivert. I don't know. I mean, do we? What can we say here that's not pause-worthy? Go ahead.
Guess like it's a light skinned guy. I guess.
He's actually the one that's not an attacker in the bunch. He's a central defender. You know,
Oh yeah,
so-
he's not gonna make it.
Oh my gosh, that's so hateful. David Hanko moving from Feyenoord to Atleti for about 26 million euros. Mitch, Cristiano Mosquera from Valencia to Arsenal for about 15 million euros. He joins Gyökeres, Zubimendi, Norgard, and Kepa. What do you make of that specific transfer, the Mosquera one?
Saliba doesn't have to play in Leagues Cup game anymore. That's awesome. And I am gonna not learn how to spell his first name for like 6 months.
Just move the fucking H. That's all you got to do. Just move it around. That's it. Michael Folorenshaw is moving from Napoli to Cagliari on loan. We mentioned this move because it's his 8th loan since Napoli originally signed him back in 2019. That's insane.
That's
insane.
Chelsea numbers.
Chidozia Waziem is moving from the Colorado Rapids to Nantes in France. And Rob Holding might be replacing him, I hear, Mitch?
Yeah, this rules. Chidozia Waziem was we traded from in the off season from Cincinnati. He was very good in his short time here in Colorado. Apparently his family is not even in the States, and so he wanted to leave the States. Understandable time to want to leave the United States right now and not want to bring your family into it. And so the club honored his request. Good on the club for honoring it. We got $1 million for him. That's nice. And then, yeah, we're likely bringing in Rob Holding from Crystal Palace, and that makes me so goddamn happy. Will he be good? I don't know. Will it be funny? Yes.
Yes,
100%.
definitely funny.
I'm going to buy a Rob Holding Rapids jersey. This makes me so happy.
Look at the smile on this man's face about Rob Holding. Jesus Christ.
Like, listen, man, when you support a team that doesn't have a chance of winning shit, these are the moments you live for, you know, so I completely get that. Pervis Estupinan leaving Brighton for AC Milan for a bit over 20 million euros. Tosin, I didn't expect him to leave the Prem that quickly.
Me neither, but he's got a crazy name. Purpose is stupido. But anyways, they got a left back wearing number 2. I know number 3's retired in Milan. I get that, but it's just something about my religion that doesn't like left backs wearing number 2. But yeah. Him and Chukwueze are boys from Villarreal, so happy for Chukwueze to have a friend. So
that's good. That's good.
Wait, Deen, question before we move on. Have you ever heard of this Igbo man speak Spanish before?
There's nothing I haven't heard an Igbo man speak. Like literally nothing. Chinese, Japanese, whatever, I've heard it. You know, thanks to the internet and being Nigerian myself. You know, so Samuel Mbangula leaving Juventus for Werder Bremen. That was a bit of a surprise to me because I thought he was one of their better talents. So to just let him go for, I think it was like 8 million or something like that. That's kind of ridiculous. But I imagine the player himself wanted to leave because he's been in Italy for 5 years. And I don't know. It's Italy and you're black. Jesper Lindstrom on loan from Napoli to Wolfsburg after he underwhelmed in England last season. Hugo Ekitike. This hurts me so deeply because this was the striker I wanted for my club. is going to Liverpool for around 90 million. And honestly, I don't think they're overpaid. Am I tripping, Mitch?
I don't know. I don't know enough about the player. I honestly, I've heard like such mixed things. I've heard like, oh, this is a huge overpay, or I'm really upset Liverpool are getting him. So, I mean, I'm a little annoyed because I thought the signing would prevent them from signing someone like Isak, and then here they are wanting to turn around and spend 120 million on Isak. So I don't know how FSG all of a sudden has money. But
Well,
okay.
Go on, Tosin.
It's because Liverpool have, over the last 10 years, rebuilt under Jurgen Klopp. I'm going to get real nerdy on you. They didn't spend any money last year, and they're
Right.
underneath their FFP or whatever they call it nowadays. And Liverpool now are spending what they earn. So Liverpool has a lot of money to be spending. So there you go.
But what do we think about their all chest, no legs approach to squad building? Because Virgil van Dijk is 34. They saw Jarrell Kwanzaa, who wasn't that good to begin with. Konate has been making ice to Real Madrid for the past 2 seasons. Won't sign an extension. Can't really stay healthy on a consistent basis. Joe Gomez is already hurt. Where are the central defenders? I haven't even heard them be linked to anybody. Like, are they going to do something? Have you guys heard anything about that?
They got Allison.
That's fair. Honestly, fair.
He's that damn good. He's that damn good. I love it. We already talked about Marcus Rashford on loan to Barcelona. Evan Ferguson is going on a year-long loan from Brighton to Roma. He already scored 5 goals in preseason. Mitch, good move for the kid, right?
Anywhere he can go and play and score goals is a good move for him. It's crazy to see where his career has kind of gone when he was looking like £100 million player a couple of years ago, and that's what the price that Brighton were putting on his head. And then all of a sudden he just kind of lost form, lost his spot, and the West Ham move didn't really work out for him. So hopefully playing in Rome's going to work for him. 5 goals in preseason sounds awesome. I hope he continues that.
Good shit. Brandon Bumo, as he tells us to pronounce his last name, has made his move to the club of his childhood or dreams, or whatever the fuck he said, or whatever the fuck they always say when they sign for a club this big. Tosin, what do you think he brings to your club?
Ass, like Eden Hazard.
I'm going to pause that, but go on.
Let me stop. He's intelligent. There was a lot of times last year when Garnacho was 1v1 or 2v1 and he'd make the wrong decision, make the wrong pass, or he'd shoot over the bar. And we need adults in the room who can actually make the right decision. That's what Mbemo brings us, somebody who actually is an adult in the room, somebody who's calm. And also, for the first time, we got a bald man in my club. So let's see how that goes on the pitch.
Man, how soon they forget Eric Ten Hag? You bastard.
I said on the pitch, not on the sideline, on the pitch.
I heard at your club.
And you heard whatever you want to hear.
You know what? I'm gonna edit it to be what I want it to be. How about that? Matteo Retegui leaving Atalanta for Quadzia for about 60 million. That's you know what? Sometimes you can just tell when someone has a plan for their own career. You know, like he came from Argentina. Where was he? Genoa first, or some other club, lower level club in Italy? Moved to Atalanta. Topped the league in scoring, then immediately took the bag in Saudi. You know, I kind of respect it. I can't knock the guy. Guys, this has been fun, but I think we're about to be out of here. Anything else for the people?
Keep tuning in. We're back.
Well, we're not all the way back. It's still preseason, but we're gonna be back, you know, in a little bit. Mitch, thanks for hopping in off the bench. We know
It was an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, we know you're busy doing whatever the fuck white people do in Colorado or wherever the fuck you are now. But thank you for making the time. And you guys know what to tell the people.
Peace.
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.